Okay. Hey, everyone. We're live from Racine. We don't know what kind of reception we're going to get or blood splatting. Yeah. So, I'd never been to Racine before. The only thing I'd ever heard about was there was these two judges that ended up in the river. And, sorry, it's really windy. One of them was related to this case with Comey and Lynch. Comey and Lynch came here. There was a big RICO case. And this case was about investing, basically what I call an interlocking board. There are the types of top-down structures where one guy owns everything and then, 90%, and then there's everybody else on the second level. The knights or whatever have 5%, that they share amongst all of themselves. But then there's these other structures where you're trying to control a town, a small town or a small county like Racine County, where you really need, especially in crime, you need more of an interlocking nature, meaning the city hall behind us there, you need the mayor, you need all the judges, you need the police department. If you're going to control the city and the county, you need the sheriff. This is the whole DynCorp sheriff. Now, everyone in this town says the same thing. This is the most corrupt place in America. And I'm like, it looks like another town in Ohio I was in with no businesses, only banks on every corner. Jason even mentioned when we were in Ohio, there's nothing going on in this town. There's only banks on every corner. It's like, is everyone a drug addict? That was kind of the thing. But anyway, this was a Capone thing. Capone went over the border into, I think it was Green Bay, Wisconsin. I'm not sure, but anyway, he had this. Maybe it was a little further north. But anyway, it was the big innovation was the seaplane, flying in the hooch, and that became obviously the way to get drugs in. Now he moved closer. The reason why Racine is important is it's halfway between Chicago and Milwaukee.
Right.
And it's a small county. Racine County is a small county. You can control the county. Once you control the county and the city, you control the water supply, you control everything, basically. And then you control the airport and you control the harbor. So if you're into illicit activities, I mean, all the rat lines really come together in Racine.
Children.
Now, diversion, Mustafa alert, trigger alert, Mustafa alert. If you, Rom, are you here? Are you here, Rom? Are you here?
I'm sure this is a good sign for
Rom,
So if I start passing in the police,
he got up here. Thank you, Rom. I gotta make sure. There you go. Your obligatory salute. Was Rom on a phone book? A couple of phone books?
I couldn't see that. You had the Bitcoin in your hand.
Oh, yeah, I had the Bitcoin for him. He didn't come and get it. No, if I had to pick, everybody's talking about is Mustafa. I'm going to talk about rat lines and Mustafa for a second. So anyway, a big pack ISI.
EB5 thing.
EB5 is based here. Rom?
Jeez.
I think they're all getting out. I think it's Tony Podesta's getting out.
Schumer, Weiner, they're all.
Schumer, Anthony Weiner.
They're bailing on Racine.
We'll salute. Yeah, so he didn't want the Bitcoin either. They keep racing by. But, and then the four-sided clock, beautiful ornate clock. The obelisks.
Right. Masonic framework.
Yeah, the 12 obelisks and all that. It's nice. It's real comforting. But so anyway, back to Mustafa. Everyone says, if you had taken this series, I just talked to somebody who had watched the series from the day one, and he goes, 2,500 videos. You were on such a roll, and then you started with the Awans. I'm like, wow, you're still watching the series? And I explained to him why I focus on the Irwan so much, because it's the communications infrastructure that you attack when you want to go in against an intelligence network, and the Blackberries is the key. But up until then, he's a student of all the kind of the goings on here, in Racine, and up until then it was DynCorp. We talked about ratlines with DynCorp. You know, the organ recovery for prisoners who didn't need their organs anymore, children who didn't need their parents anymore, drugs for either legal or illegal. Mustafa's got it all. If I could pick one guy as the poster child, I'd pick Mustafa. Now we're going to go through it all. First of all, the Kosovo connection, right?
Right.
He learns Russian, so he's Madeleine Albright. He's connected with Madeleine Albright.
Well, he got a degree in Russian and Balkan languages.
Right, and then everybody says, "Oh, this guy isn't connected to all these things," but he's got an orphanage.
He seems to have an orphanage, or they started an orphanage after he gave a speech at a Little Rock, Arkansas, with some characters.
This is Jerry Adams. It's
Jerry Adams.
Same name as the guy.
It's called the Wisdom House.
The Wisdom House.
And it's an orphanage where they support an orphanage in Syria.
And then there's this chemonics thing, which is scary.
Yeah.
What chemonics is? What is?
Chemonics is like I'm trying to think.
HIV. It's HIV, the quarter weight HIV.
Right.
And then you've got the Rockland immunotherapies,
right,
which is antidote for sarin gas and chlorine gas. I mean,
he was part of the Libyan.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, all the EFTs, all the emergency task force,
Libya,
Egypt, and now also Kosovo.
He's in a picture. Well, and he's also
with
in a
Chalupa.
picture with Chalupas who were involved with Ukraine and that color revolution.
Yeah, and then if you go all the way back to the beginning and talk about Popovic in Otpor in Kosovo, he's a part of that. So he's a student going all the way back to Popovic. If I had to pick one face of the first 125 days of the series, I would say it's Mustafa.
And
Mustafa.
Then he has the it's a nice deal when you have your younger brother who worked as a law clerk for the U.S. Department of Commerce, and then now works for D.L. Piper, which is run by Peter Comey.
Peter Comey.
So that's always helpful.
So it's nice to get renovations in large apartment buildings. So we made it here to Ground Zero. I thought of Ratlines when I came in here because everybody we talked to. Task Force talked to two innocent older women. Right. And what did they say? First thing.
I said, what would you, Racine, what would you want? What's the story that you would like to tell? And they looked at me and said, well, first of all, we don't talk around here.
You don't talk about it.
I said, okay, well, just talk to me quietly. And they said, well, they called it the ghetto. And they said the shootings, the deaths, the suicides, the bodies in the rivers. And then they said the sex trafficking, the kid sex trafficking, the tunnels, all the stuff, the Masonic stuff.
Yeah.
They said
so, and when we say tunnels, we just start talking about tunnel out to the airport or tunnel to the harbor. And then, but there was this traffic. And I said, well, it is kind of one of those scary towns where you control everything. You have this interlocking board of, your 12 elders, and literally the whole town. It kind of reminds me of that town in It's a Wonderful Life, Bedford Falls, where when it goes bad, and it turns into Potterville. It's like, and Potter calls everybody. Well, you own the bus line now, and you own the department store, and it's just one of those kind of things. So I think that's my general impression of Racine. The Knights of Pythias, their building is kind of scary. If really, I mean, here's how Johnson Wax. If you don't know S.C. Johnson Wax, Windex, etc. Now, I don't know how to say. I'm not going to go there. I just said, if you did want to go back to earlier in the series of the British East India Company, and you wanted to make sure that you had sort of an interlocking board, so there's gun your engine if you're a drug dealer for rum. If there must be two in the car. If you do believe in order, British order, you would have certain interlocking trading partners. And some people say that's exactly what's happened here with the heirs of the British East India Company, along with the S.E. Johnson family. The one family owns this town. And again, Tony Podesta has said, I was nothing until I came to Racine. Right. Something is here that I can't see. Maybe it's tunnels or something, but there's something must be special about Racine other than Al Capone, the harbor, and the airport.
Rockefellers and the Rothschilds like to visit here too every now and then.
Apparently the Rockefellers and Rothschilds visit here. I cannot believe that. I cannot believe that. In my wildest dreams, I cannot believe. Why would the Rockefellers and Rothschilds come here? I don't understand. But maybe it's the Knights of Pythias. We don't know. That maybe the Knights of Pythias or some... I thought the Knights of Pythias was kind of like a blood oath thing.
Yeah.
And assassins. And then if you ever... if someone was competing in business against your guy around the Knight of Pythias round table, you would kill their enemy and they would kill for you.
Yeah.
That way it'd be harder to trace a motive. But that was kind of a cheery Knights of Pythias. Everybody came out, oh no, it's way worse than that. I'm like, what? Blood network? It's worse than a blood network? Anyway, we've had fun here. It's very, very cold.
Yeah.
And we are going to go inside. That's probably it, that all you're going to see from Racine. But it does seem like a very Masonic town. It does seem like the police want to run you over.
Right. Yeah, it does seem like, people need to pay attention to S.C. Johnson, and I think that's some of the messages we got today. Is there a lot going on in this town? And
new airstrikes. Somebody said new airstrikes. I think they're hitting, they may be hitting Mustafa's supplies here.
Yeah.
Right?
Good.
You might want to check the actual locations and see where the Syrian Emergency Task Force has been and where the Syrian Emergency Task Force supplies are.
Right.
And I think actually the new Q3 might have some insight into that. So one great thing about this series is now go back to the first 125 days. It's all super relevant all over again. It's almost like nothing changed.
Right.
Right? It's the only thing we have now is a mascot with Mustafa. Okay, everybody, that's all from the 12 obelisks surrounding City Hall and the red dot on my forehead and Task Force's forehead.